Hi, welcome to Robotics Robotics. Today we discuss how to add extra tone to your Fender guitar. There's a Fender Strat right here, right in front of you. And then what we have two tone controls and one volume and a five-way selector switch, as you see it right here. There's a five-way selector switch, two tone control and one volume. What we're gonna do, we're gonna add more tones because it sounds better when it's generated from guitar itself than you do it from the amp, because it's all passive. And then on amp you can adjust the volume, but if you have the right tone from your guitar, it's gonna sound better from the beginning. So we have from manufacturer, we have two tone control, which are right here, and one volume, they're right here. We're not gonna touch that, we're gonna leave it there. On top of that, we have a five-way selector switch. We have a diagram right there, as you can see. So they're both available on the guitar already. There's the output jack, which is right there already. We're not gonna touch the tone controls, we're not gonna touch the output jack, and we're not gonna touch the five-way selector switch. They're gonna stay there. All we're gonna do, we're gonna add three more switches here, three more switches in here, and three more potentiometer on top, which I'll show you right now. These are the three more switches right down there. See that? 1, 2, 3, and three potentiometer right here. So we're going to do the potentiometers of the volume knob, which they're right there. As you can see, there's three of them. We're going to add three more, either here on top, and three more switches, so that has more tonal capability. We're either going to install it here, or at the bottom somewhere, or here. But if you guys give me a comment where you want that to be installed, then we get it all set up. You know, that's, we're going to decide which one is going to make more sense. If you give me some ideas, then we decide and elaborate on that, and we're going to find out if you install it here is better, or here better, or wherever part of the guitar that would be. So this is going to stay where they're at, this is going to stay where they're at. We're just going to add three more switches and three more volume knobs here. So let's get further here to see how we're going to get this thing to started, which is fairly simple thing to do. Not simple, but it takes some work. You know, if you guys kind of bear with me, I explain to you everything from a get-go. So as you can see over there, we have three pickups, which is already here on top. One, two, three pickups that we're going to keep there. As I told you, the pickup comes with the guitar. And we have the selector switch, we're going to keep there, and we have the volume, two-tone control and volume knob here. We're not going to touch that, we're going to leave it. We're just going to make this circuit that we're going to design, we're going to put it between the pickups and the volume and tone control and the selector switch. So what we're going to do, these are the pickups right there. We're going to add one switch here, one switch here, one switch here, one potentiometer there, one potentiometer here. If we didn't have this section, it would be 2 to the power of 3 minus 1. 8 minus 1 equals 7. So if we didn't have this section right here, I would get output directly from here to here without using the right area. Then we had 7 more sound combination plus the volume adjustment on each would give you a wide arrays of tonal control. So we would have the first one on, the second on, the third pickup on with three selector switch that we're going to install. We're going to have one on, two off. We're going to have two off, one on position, two on, one off position, and two off, one on, center off, two sides on, and two last one on and one first one off. So these are the combination right here. You can take a note of it if you want to, but these are the combination that's going to be available with the extra three switches that we ever installed beside what Fender already has in there installed in your guitar. It's already in there. This is on top of whatever you have here. So when we tap into the Fender system here and we connect to the factory volume and tone control here, then we add to the five-way selector switch that already Fender has. Then we send it to the output jack. Then we have 7 times 5, 35 times combination, 35 different setup, different combinations for total control just by the switches. I'm not talking about adjusting the tone control here, adjusting the amount of output you're going to get from your pickup, because you could have output on number 1 here, number 9 there, number 10 here. So it would be 10 different combination here on each section. So 10 and 10 and 10, that's 30. 30 times 35 is going to be like 1,000 different variation of the sound that you're going to get out of the guitar without doing anything, without actually just suspending on 3 switches and 3 potentiometer, like a volume knob that was on a Fender. We adding 3 more volume controls and 3 more switches. 3 switches might cost you maybe, what, depends on what type of switch you buy, $6, $9, $10, I don't know. 3 volume knob, they start ranging from $1 each up to $5 to $10, depends on how much you want to spend, but you're gonna get all the values and all set up for you. So what it does, basically, it takes the output from a pickups and it sends it to the switch, and the switch could be an on position or off position. If the switch is on position, it passes through the tone control, it passes through the volume, how much volume you want to get out of that particular pickup. Then he sends it to another volume control from factory and 2 tone setup. Then he sends it from 5-way selector switch. What we're going to do with a 5-way selector switch here, instead of using it for switching the pickup, we're going to add different tonal capability. We're going to add more capacitors here and maybe some coils, so you can create mimic the bass sound and really high the level, like a lot of treble. You know, if you want to play with a lot of treble, a lot of bass or mid-range, we can get it all set up here on a later chapter or the later videos that we have. So we can have 5 different selections to go here. So we either select the first one, which would be the normal that comes to it. Second would be a little sharper sound, sharpest, and maybe a bass sound somewhere in there. We're going to get it all set up. We haven't decided based on that, but this is going to be the circuitry that I came up with, and we're going to get this set up the right order based on your preference. So I need your input. You guys are going to sort of either send me an email to uforobotics@gmail.com. Once again, email is uforobotics@gmail.com. You please subscribe to our channel, because we need your assistance in this. So the more subscriber we have, the easier going to be for me to go ahead and give you more upgrades in the future on anything electronics or any device that you recommend me to do. I will do it for you. So basically what it does here, the first one opens up, close the switch on the first one. What we do, we send it through the volume knob, the volume, and it goes through a factory setup, which are the factory setups are these 3 2-tone control, 1 volume. We have nothing to do with the switch yet, so it goes through here, then it comes down here on the switch panel, and there's a 5-way selector. We're going to rewire it differently. We're going to use the switch, so it's going to go either going to be a really sharp sound, or the sound just come through the system untouched, just a passive sound, or we're going to have a sharper sound that's sharper than the one prior, and then we might have one with coil that we're going to add more bass to it. So we're going to have this. Then if we go there to the second segment here, if you look over here, we could, as I explained to you, we could close that one, then we close this one, so we have 2 pickups coming, and we can adjust how much volume we want to draw from any pickup, or every pickup. So we got to draw, let's say, number 3 off of this one, number 10 out of this one. That gives you different tonal capability. So we connect these 2, we close the circuit, we turn the switch on, and it goes through the tonal capability, goes through a 5-way selector, goes through the output. Then it would be here, we can close the switch on, turn all the 3 switches on here, adjust the amount we want to draw from every pickup, send it to the tone control, send it to the switch to adjust the sharpness. We can do it here as well, but this is going to be like a more adjustment adding to what it already has. So we're going to put more sharpness here, more sharper sound here, like more treble and more bass coming through here, or regular natural one that goes through the system. The combinations, as you saw, of how many combinations we have for selecting the pickups. We're going to be like a 7 different combinations for turning one on, 2 off, the last one, the first one on, the middle off. All the combinations are written here that we can accomplish. Not considering the volume knob has 10 levels, so each of them gonna be 10, 10, 10. So 30 times 35 combination, plus this we have about probably 1,000 variation of sounds you're gonna get, and you're gonna be able to tweak it exactly the way you want to, because you have areas of sound adjusted, and because we're gonna set the volume knob the way the potentiometer we install is gonna be just like a factory. We're gonna pick something that's gonna have numerical numbers on it, 1 through 10. You know what I mean? So when we do this and have numbers on it and printed, as you can see it here, then the volume, we can write down the tone that we already selected in here. We can write it down somewhere. We can say like pickup number 1 was 4, pickup number 4, pickup number 2 was 6 on the volume knob, pickup number 3 was 10. Then we write it down somewhere if we select it, and the 5-way switch would be on number 3 position. Then we know, and the factory setup we're going to be number 8, number 2, and the volume going to be on number 10 or whatnot. So we get all that figured out to tweak it to the way we want to. We have that area of capability to do it, because this is not like a equalizer sort of thing. It's totally different. This circuit comes between the pickups and a factory setup. Then after it leaves the factory setup that's already installed on Fender, it goes to the switch that we have set up. We have a Fender switch here that we're going to rewire it differently. Then from there it's going to go to output jack. You get a wide areas of sounds, and in the previous video we showed you how to intonate the Fender guitar, and we showed you how to do the close action on Fender guitar. If you do all that, and then if you do this here, if you do this and you do all that, what's going to bring to you is going to bring you the full tonal capability, and your guitar going to sound really good because you're going to feel comfortable playing it, and it's going to sound harmonized because you already have intonation done through the videos that we showed you how to it. If the intonation is done, it sounds all the way across. It sounds really good no matter what scale you play on, and no matter high or high low or high of a note you're playing. So total variations here is going to really help you. Then if you're playing a style is, for example, jazz, then you using different action setting, as we're going to be explaining on the videos here. You can check the other videos, and then depends if you're playing sweep pickings, you're doing a lot of heavy metal and you want to play fast, then you want to have a close action, a low action on that. So we got all that already in videos for you. That's already been loaded on YouTube. So this is just an amendment attached. This is what is attached to that one, and is part of it, because once you play really good on a guitar, once you feel comfortable playing it, because the action is set up, the intonation, the tone of the guitar is fully harmonized, the notes on the 12th fret, 15th fret, all tuned in to the open string, to the full fret, for any frets in there, they play exact tone, and they really gonna perform well. The guitar itself gonna do what it's supposed to do, what it's intended to do. Because when it comes from a factory, granted, the guitar is made really well, Fenders are really made well, but the close action intonation gotta be done. So once you get that done and you add this circuit, because the guitar sounds good and plays good, then you add more tonal capability, then you can do whatever you want on the guitar itself without going to your amplifier and doing all kinds of setup. So again, we have 3 pickups here, we have 3 switches that we need to buy, we have 3 volume potentiometers that we need to purchase those, that we're going to use the factory setup for volume and tone control, and we're not going to touch this part, but we're going to use a factory selector switch, 5-way selector switch, which is right here, 5-way selector switch. But when we use a 5-way selector switch, we're going to change the arrangement on it, and we're going to attach capacitors, coils to it to get a really high treble sound or bass sound, or passive just coming through it the way it is going through factory by itself. So one position would be just a factory setup plus this engage, and the other 4 position would be our setup that we added to it, plus all the combination of the switches and all the numbers on a potentiometer. As I showed you, each volume knob has 10 different numbers from 1 to 10. So let's say 1 is the least amount of output you want to get off the pickup 1, you can put it on 1, or 10 is the most amount of output you want to get from a pickup 1. Let's say on a pickup 1, you don't want to get a lot of output from it. You want it to make sound a lot more like bass or mid-range sort of sound, and then you draw it lower, like number 2 on the third pickup, because near the bridge, this pickup right here, let's say you want to draw a lot more sound out of this one, then you put the volume on here on number 10, and then you can control the amount of output that goes from 1, 2, or 3 pickup. Either one of the 3 pickups, you can adjust the volume control on either one of them, to how much draw you want to get from each pickup, how much volume output you want to get from each pickup. So you get that set up, and we're going to do it slowly and in the right process, so you guys get it all done, but we're going to get it done for you. Any question, comment, contact me, uforobotics@gmail.com. We're going to need your input to find out where you want us to install those switches, and then please subscribe, because we do need your help. I appreciate so far whatever you guys done, and it was really nice. Have a great day. Bye now.